you know that torture device where like they hang like wood over your neck and your hands?
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
But it's called a yoke, right?
Yeah.
If Christianity was doing that to the people in Nigeria, why would they carry on practicing it?
Who knows? It's there already.
But they're rational beings, right? They're rational creatures. If something is bad, they will know it's bad and abandon it. So why haven't Nigerians abandoned religion at large if it's bad for them, but instead continue to adopt it? Clearly, they're making a rational decision that they are better off following something like Christianity as opposed to reverting to what they did before.
Then another half just following
Islam, for example.
Huh?
Islam, for example.
And then something else.
Smaller components of traditional religions.
And then mix it.
What do you mean mix this?
People just mix it all up. Because sometimes you might see someone that's traditional Nigerian, but they mention Jesus. Isn't like two conflicting different things? I've seen even Ghanish culture, innit? They say Jesus.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's a mix that I use. It's like picking what's good to you.
So
which makes sense.
As far as pagan traditions go in Africa and even in Asia,
Even here.
I don't know enough examples of
Christmas.
Christmas isn't pagan.
No. But was it Christ born like? Not the time we make it.
So this is a separate point, and I'll get to it in a second.
Yeah.
But my point was going to be that a lot of pagan religions in Asia, Europe, and globally are normally more inclusive than exclusive. So, for example, I know this example more so well when Christianity came to Japan initially in the 1600s, right? Some people who were like traditional Buddhists simply just incorporated Jesus as one of their gods in the pantheon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right? It's very rare that you will find religions that are like exclusivists. Like, for example, with the Abrahamic religions that claim that they are the only exclusive means by which you can communicate with God.
Yeah.
So, yes, some people will mix it, but I don't think that's the correct thing to do. Because you can't.
But we do it anyway.
In the Bible, there's an example about like Jesus says that you cannot pour new wine into an old wineskin. Exactly. And also it'll rip.
But people do it anyway.
Huh?
People do it to this day.
They're wrong. So I disagree severely with his points.
Yeah, but his point is just basically you stay in your own zone, you stay in your own zone. You believe there, we believe there.
No, but it's not just that. He's claiming that doing that then makes society better. Prove that.
But you need to replace it. You need something else to bring unity. You want to take that away from you, take Christianity away from you, take Islam away from them. You need something else to unite you lot.
What's he suggesting?
Right now, you need a long list.
Then in my mind, his worldview is random and like inconsistent. Like there's no reason to replace Christianity with whatever he wants to do. It's pointless.
Unless you got something that rival it.
Well, you better find that something and then describe it very well.
Yeah, but the thing is, keep it to himself, like or his little unit. He's not spreading it to the world. Well, I guess that's what it starts in it. I guess
that's just local pagan religions. And I'm not gonna lie, some of them can be in line with Christianity randomly. Maybe they just chose all the right things, all the virtuous things. But the majority of them won't be. So if you're not from our tribe, if you're not from our section of the woods, then you're an outsider, get out of here, you're not human, I have no reason to take care of you, blah blah blah, I can break, kill you and rob you and it's fine. So if he's advocating for tribalism, I am not a fan of that.
But we know in mass it's been colonization.
So the world, like before this book came to fruition, I guess society was just messed up.
Well, you can look and see if you'd like to live in any other time period apart from now. You can look and see if you want to. I'm not gonna lie.
2,000 years ago, like
yeah.
BC.
You can look at any society and you can tell if you want to live there or not.
Yeah, but everyone's compete now because we got more access to everyone. Everyone can unite. Yeah, well,
right. But I'm gonna make the case that the introduction of Christianity actually changed the world for the better.
Well, it allows this. Basically, allows this. Basically.
Yes, effectively.
I guess so.
I can state why I believe it allows this. But fundamentally, all the things you like about developed countries have a basis in Christianity.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's not as harsh.
So then show me that from his tradition. Show me that. You can't. It's like keep it to ourselves. This is our religion. Our people are the ones who are correct. Everything else can be damned. Okay? Tell me how that's supposed to encourage a continent of what? Nearly 2 billion people now? to somehow develop. What's going to make me work together with him?
Money.
If my tradition says that money is like evil, but his says it's okay.
Money, bro. That's what he runs it. That's what runs the place, man.
Yeah, but then like if my tradition, for example, refuses to like randomly do communicate or even exchange with people who aren't from that tradition, how is that going to encourage cohesion? Because you need to look at African tribal beliefs, right?
Yeah.
A lot of them are just very odd. Some are okay.
Like for example, like what?
We gave an example earlier about the Igbo tradition, where you would kill twins.
Well, no.
Okay. Earlier on, I gave an example. So essentially the idea was that
What's he talking about?
just because you're advocating for a non-Christian tradition with Africans doesn't make it inherently better. I gave the example of myself. I'm Nigerian. The first Christian in my family was my great-grandfather, and prior to that, we had a practice in our tradition, the Igbo tradition, where we did like certain segments and then like parts of it. If twins were born of a single woman, the action itself would be viewed as evil, and the twins would be killed by tossing them into a forest. Very similar to what would happen in Sparta when you had a disabled child being born who could be raised into a great soldier.
But nowadays we look after them.
Now we look after them, and what I said to him that was even more jarring was that I met my great-grandfather. He's not some ancient guy that I've never seen before. I saw him before he died. I was about 8. My grandfather had twins. Had they not been Christian,
you're not here. Yes, yeah.
Well, not me, but my auntie and my uncle.
Oh, so
don't exist.
Oh, okay.
And then if I was still in that culture and I had twins, it's my duty as a husband to go and kill my own children. Is that something that's good?
Yeah, but you don't know how you even got here, man.
Huh?
You don't know what kind of wars your great-grandparents went through.
Again,
he probably had to kill like X, Y, Z just to make sure he lived, so you can live.
Is that good?
We don't know. It's not good, but we don't know. It's not hindsight. We don't know.
So then, my point would be that if that tradition is in that way and it's understood in that manner, then I am happy that we exchange the Christianity.
Of course.
So then now,
that's one thing you're taking out. Yeah, of course.
For him to claim that Christianity and Islam are the reason why Africa is behind, tell me why that's the case. Because I can show you Christian countries and Islamic countries that aren't behind.
It's not. Sometimes it's not helping. Sometimes it's been helpful. But it just depends on. That's it, really.
I say
instrumental and instrumental. Yeah.
There are bigger issues why the continent as a whole doesn't look like Dubai.
Yeah, we're never unified. Yeah.
Okay. So now, are we better off advancing, for example, and maybe forming like Christian coalitions that are for developments, or regressing and becoming separated again by language and religion? That's what he won't understand.
But separating, but who you separating from to get power?
So
right now, where's the power? Because right now, okay, we're down here. So how do you get the power up without dropping someone else's power? That's the word dynamics.
In pre-colonial Africa, the reason why you never had like large countries like you do now, is because people were so segmented by their religion and their language. So, for example, in Nigeria alone, it's not even the biggest country in Africa in terms of landmass. We have 250 tribes or ethnic groups in Nigeria alone. Can you imagine how many more thousands you have if you look across the entire continent from north to south?
Too much, man.
So, what is the unifier if there is no such thing, for example, like Christianity?
Or Islam.
I would not. I won't make the case that
they can say the same thing, even though I know it came after.
I wouldn't make the case that Islam advances Africa. I can show why that is the case quite easily if you want to talk about that. But I wouldn't advocate for more Africans to become Muslim, for example.
Why not? A lot of them on their own accord. You said, on their own accord, because nobody ran Nigerians. So according to them, they chose that. They had Christianity. I'm sure Christianity was there. It was there before, right? Centuries
I'm
before.
Naomi.
But it still chose Islam.
Because I don't necessarily think that it's a choice if fundamentally within the core elements of the belief, once you join, you can't leave. So therefore, I wouldn't call becoming a Muslim a choice.
Really good. I'm pleased with that.
Oh, by the sword.
Well, the fact that you have the arbiter of the religion saying verbatim, if anyone leaves his religion, kill him.
Very much.
Kind of tells you all you need to know about the religion. So that's why I wouldn't advocate for it to happen more so than less so. And not to mention that fundamentally, the way that I have viewed particularly Sunni Islam, the essence of the religion, in its, like, if you want to say purest form, is to basically keep to the edicts and lifestyle of a man that lived so long ago that the way he lived is completely incompatible with how we live today.
No, things will change. It would have changed.
Too much has changed for the way that he lived to be valid and for him to be like a moral exemplar. What you have with Jesus instead is that we're not advocating for you to walk around in sandals and a robe. We're advocating We're advocating for you to listen to principles. Love thy neighbor as yourself. Love the Lord thy God with all your heart, soul, and mind. When will those principles ever be incorrect?
Yes. No.
That's why I advocate more so for following Christ than anything else, or any other pagan religion or any other competing religion.
Okay, that's fair.
So that's what I wish he would consider.
Being is in. Where is he now?
He's gone. But effectively, all the arguments are emotional arguments. You can make emotional arguments. It's fine. It's a way by which you can get a point across. But if your entire argument is emotional, then I can make a deeper emotional argument and somehow be more right than you.
We can start being silly and
Think of all the twins. Think of all the twins. You know, I could do that.
No, it's unfortunate, but it's what it is. Yeah, man.
That's my take.
Nah, man.
Got any generic questions or anything, or?
No, not really. Just here, just listen to people, see what they say.
Welcome to the corner. Have a look around, see if anything catches your eye.
Yeah, I know, man. I'll catch my ear on and see if it makes sense.
Cool, fair enough. Do a wrap up. How are you? Yeah. Quick wrap up. So we have our friend with a bucket hat, with a towel today, still advocating for something that doesn't make sense. He's advocating emotionally for a return to random traditional African beliefs, just because, for no factor of merit, but simply because they aren't outside of Africa. So they aren't Hebrew or Jewish or Arabian or Nordic or whatever the case is. The issue with his line of thinking is multifolded. But to summarize it very quickly, because an idea comes from outside of a tradition doesn't make it wrong. The idea is wrong or right based upon the merits and the fruits that idea produces. I gave the example, like I said, of a traditional belief where within West Africa, killing twins was seen as okay, because twins were an abomination according to their line of thinking. That is not positive because it does not promote life, it promotes death. And if, as a Christian, you hold to the idea that there's a consistency in the messaging of Jesus, where he's promising life, here, eternal life, he's the bread of life, his words are life, then to be consistent with that idea, we can't then advocate for people to follow ideas that lead to death. So if there are any African ideas that are in tandem with Christianity, that's great. But likely more than anything, they will be very unique and very small and followed by only a handful of people. The larger ideas that we have, if you look at, for example, what you had in South Africa with the Zulus, independent of Christianity, or what you had in East Africa, independent of Christianity, don't appear to be positive. And I would make the case that the people who live there are intelligent enough to compare the messages of Christianity and the messages that they had previously with the traditional religions, and then freely choose to either stay with what they have or adopt Christianity. The fact that it's growing in Africa isn't through some kind of outside colonial force. People are coming to the realization that the gospel message is true and freely choosing to follow along with the faith. In fact, even more so, in many countries in Africa, you actually have people who gather followings by pretending to be Jesus, proving further that the character of Christ is compelling, so much so that in order to garner a following in the modern day, you still need to refer to Christ in some way. His arguments are purely emotional. They aren't backed up by any kind of fact or statistics or historical reference. He just feels that Christianity is imposed by Europeans and he isn't willing to hear anything different. Pray that his mind is open, that he's willing to hear a different perspective, and that he's actually willing to invest more so in advocating for inclusion, not just emotionally, but logically too. That's all.